Get ahead on the count on 24 Sports Talk with your host, Laren.
Let's go.
Y'all heard it first. Laren Hampton is writing a book, or has written a book. All right, and this thing's gonna be released soon. I'm talking the most crucial icebreaker of the day. You want to hear it? Let's get it.
So what got me into the business was I was working for a company. I loved the business. I did.
What's one of the most memorable client engagements or projects that you've been a part of?
Let's go.
Oh, what is up, y'all? Back again. I am your host, Laren Hampton with 24 Sports Talk. Listen, it's been a while. It has been a while since I have connected with y'all. I am so excited. Listen, I don't like to date like what's happening and all that, but the other day, we're still in February, okay? Why was it 92 degrees? What is going on, man? 92 degrees, man. Texas, listen, y'all. Texas is the only place I know, at least North Texas, where you can get all the seasons in one day. Like, literally, it makes no sense that it was 92 degrees. I'm running my sprinkler and stuff, trying to get I'm like, whoa, call me off guard. What's going on, man? But yes, I'm excited to be back. Y'all know I like to talk about the weather. Come on now. Listen, I've got an icebreaker of the day that I really want to talk to y'all about. This is serious. This is the most serious icebreaker of the day I've ever brought to this show ever. Okay? And I'm going to tell y'all something. This may decide whether or not I'm friends with some of y'all, depending on what your feedback's going to be. I'm talking the most crucial icebreaker of the day. You want to hear it? Here it is. Strawberry cheesecake. Okay? Is it a pie or is it a cake? Think about it now. All right? Strawberry cheesecake. Is it a cake or is it a pie? My vote, it's a pie. Come on, y'all. Come on, it can't be anything else. There's no way that a strawberry, I know it's got cake in the name. I hear you. But it's a pie. Clearly, it's a pie. There's no way it could be a cake, right? Y'all let me know. I may even put a poll out there today. I'm for real. Like, I'm going to bring this up with my guest today, too. We're going to talk about this because this is serious business. Is strawberry cheesecake a cake or a pie? All right? Already getting text messages from coaches. It's a pie, Laren. It's a pie. Thank you. Appreciate it. Send me a DM note. Let me know, y'all, on the 24 Sports pages, on Instagram, Facebook. Y'all DM me. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Again, how can a strawberry cheesecake be a cake? Something's wrong with y'all, okay? If you think it's a cake, I'm just saying, all right? But let me know, all right? Now, before I get my guest on, I want to break a little bit of news, and I put this on social media today, and I have been thinking about this for a while, like, man, should I say something? Should I wait? But I want to let you in on a little something that I've been working on. Now, you guys know that I talk about mindset a lot. You hear me talk about adversity, kids going through challenges, especially in travel ball, whether it's overcoming a slump, navigating through strikeouts, dropping pop-ups, poor performance on the field, all the things these 9-year-olds, these 10-year-olds, these 12-year-olds are trying to process, even parents trying to process when kids fail or when they don't perform well, or they're performing really well. Laren, he looks great in practice, or he looked great March and April, but for some reason, ever since then, he's been like declining for months. There's a lot of reasons to it, but let me tell you something. How to process all this stuff is everything. I have written a book. Yes, I have written a book, y'all. For kids, for travel ball kids, little leaguers, rec players, doesn't matter. I have written a book for kids to help them overcome adversity, thrive through adversity. That's right. I'm so excited to let y'all know. I've been stressing over this, y'all. It's taking me forever to do this. Oh my God. So some of y'all that I haven't been answering your calls because I've had my laptop up writing this doggone book, okay? But I'm really excited about this. I cannot wait for this book to change lives. Like literally, it's in the edit phase now. This thing's going to be done pretty soon, and I can't wait to really release this. Y'all are the first to know. There's no social posts about this. I've got close family that have no idea that I've been writing this book, and I guess I'm going to be an author. Like, let's get it. But more importantly, I just really look forward to putting this in the hands of kids, man. This is going to be a big impact change for them. So it's a journal, it's a book, it's a workbook, all wrapped into one to really help them overcome hard times, adversity through these tournaments and these games, something that's going to help elevate them forever. Okay. So y'all heard it first. Laren Hampton is writing a book or has written a book. All right. And this thing's going to be released soon. So I got more updates to come, but y'all get ready. Okay. This thing is going to be crazy. Now, without further ado, I got somebody that lives in my neighborhood. Y'all heard Joey a couple of weeks ago. I got somebody else that's in my neighborhood. Listen, there's something going on in my subdivision. All right. We got some rock stars in our subdivision. Okay. But y'all know we've been talking about navigating through entrepreneurship, right? And when it's hard or when it's easy and how to get the right partners and all the things. We kicked off this entrepreneur series and we're going to end it today. And this is the perfect way to end it because I got my guy, Josh Chalice. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Listen, Josh, how often have I used your services?
7 times.
Oh my God.
7 times.
Y'all get out of my business. Yes. Junk removal 7 times in the last couple of years. Don't listen. I have to do this, okay? Because also, too, I'm going to throw Joy under the bus, Josh. Like, mostly you see Amazon boxes in the garage,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, sorry, Joy. Sorry, just real. It's real. All right? But, Josh, I have adored the way you have built your business, like, over the years, man. We've had some great conversations just offline. Like, we do the service, and all of a sudden, we're getting into this deep conversation about culture and building and overcoming adversity, right? And all the things. But, Josh, how in the world, I never even asked you this, what made you start this company, by the way?
Well, first off, congratulations on the book, man. That's
thank
you
you.
investing in our children, and our children are the future.
Mhm.
I got 4 kids, and I love it when people take an interest in other people's children to build them up, So
Absolutely.
I'll definitely be purchasing that, and let me know when it's ready, all right?
Oh, let's get it.
So what got me into the business was I was working for a company. I loved the business. I did a lot for them, but I was having high stress. I took the work home. I couldn't escape it. And again, there's $1 for what you give, right? So if they're willing to pay you for it, you're still kind of willing to do it. It wasn't a healthy culture. It wasn't really any culture at all. It's just grind, grind, grind. So I gave them 4 years, and finally I started having my kids, and I had to start making decisions, right? Because I wasn't the father I wanted to be for my kids. Because of that stress, the phones nowadays, you can't get rid of them. So you take it home with you. So anyways, I made a decision that I need to move on. I need to do my own thing. I chose something that is pretty not rocket science. It's simple. I've had sales experience for the last 20 years of my life. I know how to connect with people, how to talk with people. So I just jumped into it, and I wanted to learn how to run a business. And it just took off from there. It took me 2 years to really start understanding policies, procedures, and how to train people. Then I started training people, and that's whenever my personal growth just exploded. So
Wow.
yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. And for y'all that don't know, Josh owns JM Junk Removers, and the company is incredible. Like, seriously. And maybe, I'm sorry, Joy, maybe it's a little bit of me purposely putting junk in the garage so Josh's team can come over because they're so awesome. But Josh, I want to back up a little bit because when you decided, let's say, to make that jump, right? To go, all right, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I get messages all the time because I've talked about my story about how I left corporate and I jumped in and just went full-fledged, right? And we make it look easy. And I want to tell people, like, I know it feels like it was easy for me to do that. And in a way it was, but in a way it's not. Where's your mindset at the time when you had to make that leap? Because you still had bills,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You have a family, you've got obligations, right? What was your mindset at the time when you made the transition to go, okay, I'm leaving this, I'm going to build my own thing?
So I burnt all my ships, all of my escape routes. It was full commitment. It was, this is it. I'm not going to go get a job. I'm not going to change the career path. I am committing. And so there was no way to escape it or run away or say, I didn't make no money this week. How am I going to pay? There was no excuse. I had to make it work. So it was pure mindset. I mean, I bet you were around the same thing, right? Whenever
Yeah.
you punch your clock and you're
Mhm.
like 100% commitment, you burnt your ships.
Yeah.
No excuses. You got to make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, man, and that's big because there's no backup plan.
It's
Right?
scary.
Like
It's scary,
I'm
man.
going all in. And I use the analogy of like when I did it, we talked about this off air. And y'all have heard me say this, those that are listening, about my story, right? Like the Sunday nights were a dread.
Yeah.
I literally hated Sunday nights, right? Friday nights was cool, then Saturday okay, and then I'm kind of thinking about it Saturday night. All I did was think about me being unhappy.
Yeah.
Like because I was a character, right? And when you're a false character, you're not who you are supposed to be, you will burn all that stuff. You're like, I don't even want to go back, right? So I absolutely love that. So when you did it, once you make the transition, right, and you cut it off, how did you feel the first day of being an entrepreneur?
First year, man. First year, it wasn't a day. Scared.
Yeah.
Scared, it's terrifying because you're taking a leap and you have these responsibilities. And I honestly think that responsibilities make us step up.
Mhm.
If we don't have a house, if we don't have a wife, we don't have a kid, it's a lot easier. Man, I just got to worry about me. It's a lot easier to be weak because of that. Right?
Mm.
When you have family that depends on you to be the man of the house and provide for them and protect them,
Mhm.
you have to step up. You have to be the provider. You have to be
Mhm.
the protector. And so because I had that you that gunned me forward, I did everything possible. I was turning every rock, making everything happen, making connections. You put way more effort into it
Yeah.
because of the fear,
Mhm.
right? The fear of I have to do this.
Mhm.
You can't just say, I quit.
Yeah.
Right? Because I burn all my ships.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
So either I die
Mm-hmm.
or this is going to take off. And
Mhm.
it takes off. When you commit to that, faith, right?
Mhm.
You believe in God, you have faith in your capabilities, you learn and improve your capabilities, and that's all you can do. And as long as you're improving, there's no turning back.
Mm.
They can't say, the world won't say, no, you failed, right? Because
Mhm.
you're grinding and you're pushing. Yeah, you'll fail here, you'll fail there,
Mhm.
but it's only a failure if you don't learn the lessons.
Mhm.
And if you learn those lessons,
Mhm.
you'll overcome them the next time they come. And then there'll be successes. And then you just keep piling on the success.
Mhm.
And as long as you don't fail or give up when you fail,
Mhm.
it's just you keep going, you keep growing, and you become a better person for your wife, for your
Mhm.
children, for your
Mhm.
friends, for all of your family,
Mhm.
your church members, everything. You become a better person the more you push.
Man, that's huge right there. Believing in your capability is everything, man, because it's hard. That first year, people used to tell me that, like, hey, those first 6 months or that first year, it's scary. And I'm like, no, it's not gonna be me. We're gonna kill it the first year. Man, I'm talking in the shower. Listen, I ain't afraid to say it, all right? I had a breaking moment, which happened to be one of the best nights ever for me, ever. I'm in the shower in tears because I'm like, God, this isn't the plan that you gave me. Like, well, what is happening? Like, this is actually going in the opposite. Like, did I just completely make the wrong choice?
Yeah.
It's hard in that first year, man. But if you can overcome that, like for you, how was the support system? Because I have to imagine like agreement is everything, right? Like, there's no way I'd be where I am today without joy. For you, walk me through how was that dynamic for you, you and your wife, in agreement through this hard process in the first year?
Well, I'm where I'm at because of my wife.
Mhm.
She's a full supporter of me. Fortunately, her father was an entrepreneur, so
Mhm.
she kind of understood what she was committing to.
Mhm.
So from the wife specifically, she was 100% on board,
Mhm.
and she's a great sounding board. Like she's a very intelligent woman. She can communicate with me and help me through situations whenever I'm overwhelmed, right?
Mhm.
And her being proud of me,
Mhm.
her respecting the situation that we're in helped me push further because I had that support.
Mhm.
A lot of our friends were like, "You're doing what?"
Yeah.
Because a
Yeah.
lot of our friends were lawyers and
Mhm.
accountants, and they're
Mhm.
just right
Mhm.
miserable for half the year because they're so dang busy.
Yeah.
But then we get this freedom. So the support was phenomenal from the wife. I
Mhm.
think that you have to do it together.
Mhm.
A man can't go do it without the wife
Mhm.
because what she's agreeing to is really long days.
Mhm.
A really stressed out man sometimes,
Mhm.
right? So if she doesn't understand that,
Mhm.
it's going to hit her hard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's communication.
Yeah.
And one thing that my wife and I do have is great communication. So there
Yeah.
has to be solid communication between
Yeah.
the man and the woman. So support was great, but it required a lot of communication, a lot of growth on both of our ends. Absolutely.
That's huge, man. That's huge. And so that first year, when did it click though? Because I had a moment for me in that first year that keeps you going? It's like that fuel. It's almost like have you noticed every time you say something to God about how hard it is, or man, I don't know, was this the right decision? And he drops you another little nugget. Just a little something to go, okay, all right, I hear you. Was there something in that first year for you that was pivotal where you went, okay, this was the right move? Like, we're not here yet, but we got something good here.
Growth.
Mm.
My consistency at pushing
Yeah.
over and over, day in, day out, and seeing the funds not being the issue. The money wasn't the issue. Me pushing forward and growing and investing in myself and investing in my business and investing in my family, seeing the results of my hard work, just consistently, small pile ups, right? It keeps adding up. It's not one thing. For me, it wasn't one thing. It was consistently pushing and seeing with hindsight, dang, look at that growth. Look at where we've come from. You know, the first week that I jumped in, I was like, I just got to make $500 a week. That's it. And then a few months later, $1,000 a week, $3,000 a week, $10,000 a week, 20, like it just keeps growing. You set a goal and you just keep pushing for it and you keep pushing. And then, you know, you just pile on the successes. You roll with the punches because the punches came, right? You can either, if you know you're going to get laid out, just take it on the chin, learn the lessons and push on. If you know you can bob and weave with it, freaking bob and weave with it, learn the lessons, overcome, and you won't have to bob and weave. But the failures is what crushes people because they don't know how to overcome them or they don't have the will or discipline to overcome. You got to have discipline.
Man, that's huge. And you're right about the discipline piece, because if you're working for a company, sometimes you can get away with less than.
Yeah.
Right? Like sometimes you can just get away with just being on social media all day. Right? Oh, it's a little slow day. I'm good. You know, with an entrepreneur owning a company, you got to hit it hard every day.
Every day.
Like, I mean, everything has to count, and you've got to be really good. There is no HR.
Nope.
There's no listen, and there's not a lot of PTO either. Like if you get hit on the chin, like life hits you, you got to know how to hit back.
Yeah,
man, it's hard.
Or get up.
Or get up.
Yeah,
just keep getting up.
That's it.
I often say like failure or setbacks isn't a sign that you're in the wrong space. Like you're being built. So oftentimes when we see failure, it's I'm doing the wrong thing.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be here. Like no. It's like a qualification. Right? It's getting you to the other side to be able to have the prosperity, the operating in your purpose, all the things, right? But there's no shortcut. Everybody's got to go through it, right?
Well, the more crap you go through, the bigger you're going to become, right? If you live a stagnant life, if you just stay complacent through everything, there's no growth. You're not growing as an individual, a father, a husband. You're not growing. You have to push yourself in all areas. And if you're not pushing yourself because life is easy, no rifts, no waves, nothing like that, you're not growing, right? We have choice for a reason. So if we choose a hard way, just know that the result of that is you're going to be a bigger, better person. And when you're a bigger, better person, you can touch more lives.
Come on.
When you can help yourself and you don't have to worry about yourself and your family, you can help others so much more. And that's what life's about. That's what a good person does, is they help others achieve their goals. And you can't do that if you ain't doing nothing.
Come on now.
Right?
Hey, I felt that, y'all. Because it's about serving. At the end of the day, man, it's about serving.
Everything's about serving.
Your brand is awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
For those that are listening, I have a JM Junk Removals hoodie. That's right. Y'all know I like my hoodies. Tell me about, how did you get to the place of understanding what your brand needed to look like? Because I see them you got the trucks, you got the merch, you got so when I see the logo, I'm like, but you know what's so crazy? Every time I see your logo, and maybe it's because of how we connected, I always think about you, right? I'll see it and I'm like, oh, there's Josh. It's like, oh no, it's not Josh. It's one of his team members, you know? But talk to me a little bit about, how did you get to a point of having like a brand strategy? Because you clearly do, right? What was that process like for you?
I had to love it. So I had to fall in love. Melissa actually came up with the name JM Junk Movers. Yeah, she came up with the name, and I was like, okay, well, I'm American, red, white, and blue, right? So those are our colors.
Yeah.
We use silver instead of white, and that's the color of our trucks.
Yeah.
But then I started developing the logos. You know, like our JM has kind of a swoosh through it.
Yeah.
It sticks out. It's very simple, but our colors, it just looks good. So it's the consistency. You can't change your brand. You got to fall in love with it and then commit to it.
Come on, talk about that. And that leads to my next point too. Josh, how important is consistency?
It's everything.
Yeah.
If you're not consistent, you know, if you attempt something and you get knocked down and you fail and you quit,
Mhm.
you'll never do that thing.
Mhm.
You know, we got to teach our kids that, right?
Mhm.
If our children themselves, they attempt stuff all the time. They're
Yeah.
so ambitious and imaginative. And if we don't push them to keep going,
Mhm.
what happens to us? We stop trying. And where does the growth come? From trying, winning, or failing. So it's important. We have to keep pushing, but that requires consistency, which requires discipline,
Mm.
right? You have to have it.
That's
I-
huge.
in anything.
Yeah.
In anything.
Yeah. Let's go, man. Did you, when you decided to do this, did you have any examples, any family members, anyone you saw on TV? Like, was there something that you could relate to when it came to owning your own company?
Nobody.
Really?
From bare bones scratch, just reading books,
Yeah.
applying, learning, applying, learning, applying. I grew up really poor. You know, just my mom, two younger siblings.
Mhm.
I moved out when I was 17.
Mhm.
I went into sales right away, learned the hard lessons. I was fortunate to have some good mentors that were just good people. So I saw like what good people act like.
Mhm.
And so I just took all those little lessons through my 20s. And then, you know, early 30s when I was like, okay, I'm going to do this on my own because I wanted to create something where I can build leaders
Mm.
because I get my fulfillment out of building other people and providing options and opportunities for people.
Mhm.
How better to do that than run a business,
Mhm.
right? Not as an owner operator, but as a business where you have employees and you can build your employees up. I believe you mentioned it earlier. When my guys go to your house, it's no different than when I'm there. The experience is the same, right? That's because I invest in them. I create them to be good leaders, good men for their families, right?
Mm.
So that's where I get my fulfillment is I can build these people up,
Yeah.
make them better people. So in 5 years, whether they're with me or not, they're going to always love me and respect me for what I invested in them. And that fulfills me.
Yeah. And they bought into the culture clearly,
They-
man.
yeah.
Like every single time they show up, it's such a good experience. I'm like, they feel like family.
Well,
Like they literally feel like family.
that goes back to the consistency. To have a good culture, you have to be consistent with your culture. You
Mhm.
have to have your core values. You have to have your guiding principles, your mission statement.
Mhm.
You have to talk about these things. And when an issue arises,
Mhm.
you have to connect everything to what the culture is of your business.
Mhm.
And if you can connect everything, they start to see it, they interpret it, and they hear it. And then they start to automatically connect the dots themselves. And that means they grew.
That's big.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it's about core values. It's about principles because it's not always going to feel good.
Yeah.
The economy is not always going to be ideal.
Yeah.
We're going to go through a pandemic. You're going to go through issues in the family, unfortunate deaths in the family, unplanned events, things that just happen.
Yeah.
But you have to have principles that you tie back to keep you going because you use the analogy of getting hit in the chin or getting knocked down, but you got to have some principles that keep you going. And for y'all that are listening, what Josh is communicating about the culture, it's not build the team, then do the culture. The culture came before he had anybody on the team.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing I want everyone to make sure that they take. And for those that are taking notes, is the culture comes first. Then you have the team. And when you stay consistent with your culture, everyone else follows it. They believe in it because it's consistent, right? I love it.
You're the culture.
Yes.
You set that culture. So you have to know yourself.
Yeah.
You have to know your weaknesses,
Mhm.
right? Like for me, I'm a fiery person.
Mhm.
I'm quick to temper, right? So that's my sin that I have to overcome, and I'm always working on that. So what happens when you're an angry person? You're
Yeah.
quick to temper. You're
Yeah.
a bad communicator.
Yeah.
What do you have to be a boss? A good communicator. It's a kryptonite for me, right?
Yeah.
So over the years, I've improved my weakness. Now my weakness is a strength.
Mm.
So but all of it makes us better people so that we
Yeah.
can touch other lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have to know what our weaknesses are and improve on those. And then no matter where you're at with your spouse, your children,
Mhm.
I'm a better communicator with my family now
Mhm.
because my business put me in a position where it's like, dude, you got to step up. You got to become better if you want to be able to touch people's lives.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. I think for me, when I would say for a while, I wanted to be the one naturally. I'm going to go hunt. I'm going to go bring back. I got this. And at the time, you know, my wife's like, hey, I got some ideas. You can do this. Oh, no. I got it. And it took me a while to realize, like, yo, I got the best asset resource right here. And it's been incredible. And so the power of agreement and alignment couldn't have come at a better time. Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about being tested. I got a whole other thing to talk about with partnerships. We'll talk about that later. But it's a real thing, man. But that consistency is everything. Having a solid team, having that alignment, agreement, all that stuff's everything. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask you this, and I don't need specific client names or examples. But I've had you come to my garage sometimes. I'll let it open and I'm looking at you like, Josh, you better not judge me. You better not judge me. And I remember you told me, you were like, oh, this ain't nothing.
Nothing.
This is nothing. Josh, what would be, so I got a couple questions. The first one is, what's one of the most memorable client engagements or projects that you've been a part of that you were like, wow, I'm never going to forget this ever?
Yeah. So I might get a little emotional on this one. It was actually early on with the business, man. This customer called us up and she asked us to clean out her brother's apartment who passed away.
Mm.
And so we go into the apartment and it's bad, right? Like he died in the apartment. So he was falling apart for 2 years prior. He cut out all of his family those 2 years. So there's pizza, there's soda, just trashed himself, right? His body. And it made me realize that family is everything, right? The dude had no family. He cut everybody out, and his sister was crushed because of it. Why he did it, I'm not sure. But that was one of the biggest impressions on me because I was like, I have to build a legacy for my family so that that doesn't happen to me. So I don't cast off my kids. We have 4 children. He didn't have any children, right? So it's just look for the future, build your future. And it made me have a perspective of where do I want to be when I'm 65? Who do I want to be surrounded with? What do I want to have given the world when I'm 65? And can I look back and say, I did good. I was a good man. I was a good human. I was a good son of God, right? Whatever it is. That job, it was year 1, right? It was,
Wow.
and I remember we had church that Sunday and I was just so torn about it. It affected me. So that was a huge one for me. And it really was a tipping point of the direction of my life and what I was going to be investing in for myself, for my family, for my acquaintances. So that was a big one for me. And it was bad. It was dirty. I was like, no one should ever live like this, So,
Yeah.
if you guys ever have loved ones, I always tell people, if you have loved ones that try to push you out, don't let them. That's a bad way, right? We're family and we need to be there for each other, especially our elders, man.
Man, it's easy to miss it. I heard there's a guy named Gary Vee. You ever heard of
Yep.
Gary Vee?
Yeah.
Gary Vee says if you want the best life advice, go talk to someone elderly and they'll talk to you about what I should have done,
Yeah.
what I could have done.
Yeah.
The what ifs, you're right, the mulligans. If I could do it all over again,
Yep.
this is what I would do.
What's the consistency with that? Spend more time with my family.
100%.
It's always that.
Yeah.
It's not about the money.
Yeah.
We chase money in our early 20s and 30s, and for what?
Man, you look at it and you just go, you know what? Like if we knew the exact date that it was going to be exit time for us, would we make different choices?
Heck yes, we would.
Would we be willing to take those risks? Would we put so much value in what people think about us? No. Like, oh, we wouldn't care what anyone else thinks. If I knew, like, all right, Laren, here's your end date. That expiration date's right here. I'm like,
Your
man,
life's different.
100%. And so you're so right about family. Family is everything. And we get so caught in not just, you can call it the rat race, your own personal goals, your own personal issues.
Yeah.
We get so conceited sometimes in our own problems.
Yeah.
And we got to take a step back and go, who am I?
Right.
Right? There is someone right now praying to have your problem.
Right.
Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Put it in perspective.
Perspective,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I started to realize for me, man, even for my kids, in fact, like, I need to pay more attention because I'm so used to, I'm on my phone. I got to do this email or I got to do this. And you're so right. At the end of it, once this is all done,
That email doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't.
Your kid matters.
It doesn't.
Your kid's looking up at you and saying, that phone's more important than I am.
100%.
Put that phone down.
100%. Absolutely, man. Like
Yeah.
it's real. It's real. So, okay. So I want to talk about something pretty cool.
All right.
'Cause I'm guessing we didn't prep this, but I want to ask you, has there been a home that you've had a project at where you were like, oh my God, this place is incredible?
As in a good incredible?
Yeah.
Or, man, we service some high-end clients.
Yeah.
We
He's not talking about me, y'all. I'm just saying.
you know, $12 million homes. You know,
Wow.
we go into some place. We see some things. Shops full of, you know, $10 million worth of vehicles. You know, we see some things.
Yeah.
Good and bad, right?
Yeah.
The reason we get into the good is because of our branding. People can trust us because of the way we are perceived and the way we present ourselves. So we attract good clients because of that. They want to just hire Joe off the road, right? Because this is very expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want Joe to know where I live, right? So we've seen amazing things. I've made great acquaintances with people because of that, right? Lots of sports athletes for the Cowboys, you know. So when you have a good brand and you know you're dependable, people will reach out to you and see you. And so we see a lot of cool stuff.
Man, that is so crazy,
Yeah.
man. But you know what I'm thinking as you were saying this? If I'm a high-end client, what are some things that I'm doing in my personal life? The very things we were talking about.
Yeah.
Consistency. I get knocked down, I'm going to get back up, right? All the things. So when I'm looking for partnerships, vendors, whoever, I really would love to get someone that's on that same frequency.
Absolutely.
And I don't care how much it costs.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, I'm going to tell you this, when I've never price compared you to anybody else.
Oh, really?
No, ever. Like, when we first engaged, like I never went, all right, this is Josh rates. Oh, okay, let me go shop around. The thing that got me was what you were putting on social media, your consistency. I'm like, I want to be tied to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about junk removal, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
Like everything around you, you want to match the frequency that you're on.
There you
We do that. Listen, my wife and I, man, we got our favorite restaurant. It may not be others' favorites, but the customer service is so consistent, right? Shout out to Gloria's Latin Cuisine. Y'all listen, Gloria, if you're listening, you need to be a sponsor because I've been giving y'all a lot of love. All right. They're in Rockwall, Irving, Dallas, just saying Arlington.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. She needs to give me some stock or something. But it's that consistency,
Yeah.
right, that we're really attracted to, right? The food's great, but it's not really the food. It's the service. It's how you feel. You know, like I'm going to get same thing at Chick-fil-A. Man, if they don't say thank you or what's the
How rude.
yeah? Oh, man, listen, they don't say that. You're like, whoa, hey, I need to talk to our manager.
Yeah.
And if I go to Whataburger, I'm not expecting Taco Bell. You're not. It's the consistency, right? It's the brand. Like that's what you expect. So with those high end clients, they're gonna
That's
naturally
what
want
they want.
100%.
So yeah, we took a simple service,
Mhm.
making crap go away for people, and we turn it into an experience for our customers.
Come on.
You know, when we come across these hoarder situations or in a state where somebody passed away, we're empathetic towards them. You know, somebody just lost a spouse or something. We show them love. Like I actually train my guys. Like, look, it's going to be awkward the first few times you're talking to a widow, and she's crying and she's getting rid of her husband's stuff. Be empathetic, man. Be compassionate. Show her some love, right? Because you can embrace that and you can help that person, or you can feel awkward and be like, stonewall it, right?
Mhm.
So took something very simple like junk removal, and it's an opportunity for us to touch people's lives
Mhm.
because we go to 10, 15, 20 jobs a day. That's 10, 15, 20 opportunities to touch somebody.
Man, let's
We
go.
reach that, right?
on.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's fulfillment. That's
Yeah.
what life is about. It's not about making a dollar. It's about touching people's lives and being a difference for people.
That's
That's
huge.
all it is.
That is huge. Come on, preach.
Opportunity, man. You got to create the opportunity, though.
Yeah, that's huge. And you do have to create your opportunity. Like,
That's it.
let's go. Nobody's coming to save you.
Nope. So there's another thing that I always tell like beginning entrepreneurs, right? If there's no action, there's no result. You have got to take action. And if you don't take action, you can't expect a better life or a simpler life or less stress or whatever your problem is right now. If you're not going to take an action to fix it, it'll always be there. You have to have action.
Come on. Come on.
That's the same thing spiritually too, right? In sports and anything. Man, I want to play in the NBA. I want to play in the NFL. All right. Are you eating a bag of chips or are you out there practicing right now? Action. Is your actions pushing you towards your goals? That's it.
That's a hard truth.
It's a hard one
That's hard truth.
because the world is easy,
Yeah.
right? Our world
Yeah.
today is easy. It's
Yeah.
easy to do nothing and entertain and just consume. So,
Mhm.
but the people that push themselves are the ones that separate themselves.
I hope y'all are writing this down. This is major. Josh, when things are good, it's good.
Yeah.
Right? It's good. Everything's great. I'm good. When it's bad, how do you handle the surprise? You wake up expecting a great day, and then boom, something happens that could completely derail the whole day. I don't need examples, but what's your go-to? Do you have a model? Do you have a philosophy? Like, how do you handle when the unplanned happens?
Early on, it was grit. It was just push through it, overcome the obstacle. Now I've gained so much experience, things don't hurt anymore. Things don't make me stumble. It's just a lesson. So the way I see every hardship or difficulty is, what is the lesson that needs to be learned here? Learn the lesson, overcome the issue. So nothing throws me off my game anymore because I have so much experience. Early on, it was, I understand there's a lesson in this. I got to learn the lesson. And I got to make sure I never put myself in this situation again to where it may put me back a step or two. So grit up front. And then later on, you just learn to roll with it, and you don't let small things, because they are small, man.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? It's just $1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Guy crashes a truck or rips a door off or hits a mailbox. Hey, we learned the lesson. What was the lesson? Right? And then you roll with it, you train around it, you overcome it, and you let it go, because life's too short to stress about things.
That's true. Experience is everything.
Everything.
Doesn't it build character? Like, you realize, like, wait, I've been here before.
Yeah.
Why am I going to go back and complain about the same when I know, oh, I'll get through this?
Yeah.
But you're right. People will say, well, Laren, I keep running into the same stuff every time. And I will tell them, you're not learning the lesson.
That's it. 100%.
Like, that thing's going to keep coming back.
God's trying to teach you something
Until you
ain't
learn that
learning it.
lesson. And you're going to stay in the 5th grade
Yeah.
until you get it, right? And so that's just what it is. And it's like, once you understand that, like, it's not about the failure. It's not about the hardship. It's about the lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, let me learn this lesson, and then we're going to go get better.
As soon as you learn that lesson, that thing will stop happening.
Yeah.
And if it does, it's not going to affect you because you
Yeah.
know how to overcome it.
Josh, I noticed that even on social media, not a lot of people like to share like the bad stuff that's going on. They like to share how great things are. And so when you are looking to start something like, oh, okay, Josh, I hate the job that I'm working at too. I feel the same way. And I've got a passion to open up a beauty salon, or I got a passion to start my own lawn service or car wash business, right? But then they go start looking at everyone else that's winning. And then you'd go, oh, I can't, man, look at them. Like,
Self-doubt.
there it is.
Self-doubt.
There it is.
The only competition you'll ever have is yourself. I don't have any competition, man. I am my own competition. I am my own biggest hurdle. If somebody's outperforming me, it's because I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm preventing me from being at that level. Whatever level you see yourself at. You see these highly successful people, right? Like, there's big franchises in my industry. They're not my competition. I don't compare myself to them in any way. I have my business, my culture, my numbers, my employees, myself, my wife. I'm my own competition. So if something isn't happening the way I want it to happen, it goes to me. I can't blame nobody. I'm not going to compare myself to anybody. If somebody's outperforming me, they're doing better at something than I am. And as a competitive person, I'm going to learn what that crap is, and I'm going to start getting systems and processes to make sure that crap happens, right? So you have to overcome it. And we are our competition. And that's applicable everywhere. Sports, right? Like, you see somebody throwing 90 miles an hour and you can only hit 85. What's he doing? Right? There is some talent in that, sure. But are you trying to overcome that talent barrier with extra workouts, extra reps, extra techniques? What are you doing to overcome that, to hit that speed? Football, someone's faster than you. What are you doing? You putting junk in your body, right? What are you doing to fuel yourself? Business is no different. It's somebody's outperforming you. What are they doing? Apply it, learn it, right?
Yeah.
So competition is yourself. That's it.
And when you learn those lessons, it doesn't take away when you celebrate someone else. Because we live in a society that when someone else is winning, we don't want to clap for them.
Man.
Because we feel like that's taken away from us.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. Oh, look at Josh. He's got, oh, you got 3 trucks now, Josh?
Dude, all the time. All the time. And I see that, and I read some the other day. It's like, surround yourself with winners so that when you celebrate your wins, it doesn't sound like bragging.
Come on.
Surround yourself with
Come on.
winners.
My wife told me the other day, she said, it ain't bragging if it's facts. It's like, oh, let's
Who
go.
you say it to, though, will take it.
I
one way or another.
I am telling you,
Your
one of the,
circles matter, man.
the circles are everything. I believe that like I'm on this lane and I'm on a lane that I'm building as I go. So I don't care about what anyone else is doing. Like the vision that I have has nothing to do with anybody
Yeah.
else, no competitors or any of that stuff. So sometimes I even get lost in any competitor, like, oh, they're doing what? Oh, that's cool, good for them. Like
Yeah.
I'm focused here. But what I've also noticed in the spirit of like business and when you're an innovator, you get people that they take notes and they try to emulate what you're doing without understanding the recipe. And I
Yeah.
see it so much.
I get copied all the time. They can't touch it though.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, it used to frustrate me until
Yeah.
I realized, wait, it's a part of the process.
Yeah.
Like,
Take it as a compliment,
like
man.
100%, right? Like you
Yeah.
just keep building, but I can't stop what I'm doing to go address you for copying.
Mm,
I just got to keep moving.
that's it.
Right? So you're in a good
Because
place.
once you stop, they catch up.
Oh man, come on, come on.
You stop doing those reps. You
Yeah.
stop building those policies and procedures.
Yeah,
Ma-
come on.
You hit pause. They're going to catch up. So
Man.
you got to keep going.
So I got to tell you this, Josh. You have already given me one, maybe even two books to go read. Okay, and I want to bring this to the public. What's been a couple of books for you that have been like pivotal moments again in business where, man, I read this book and it's like I got some gold from this book.
Yeah.
What are some couple books or two, maybe two book, one or two books that you'd recommend for people that are looking to start their own company?
So there's 3 books, 2 of which I require every employee to read. And we actually go over every chapter every week. So we'll do a chapter. We ask them 5 questions. They come with answers to those 5 questions. And we have a discussion with each other, building that culture, right? I invest in them. I'm willing to pay them for that time. And we build each other up. That one is Extreme Ownership.
Extreme Ownership.
That is a phenomenal book. It's a phenomenal book no matter what you're doing in life. You're working for somebody, you have your own business, for your relationship status, like, or goals, whatever it is. It is a fantastic book.
Mm-hmm.
One that connects with that book is one called ZAPP, Z-A-P-P. That one is a perception book. It will shift your perception on how you communicate and how you're perceived in communication. So the first one teaches you accountability and how to build processes and systems and everything. And the ZAPP connects to that because even though you have processes and procedures, you still have to be able to communicate them properly to people so that you're perceived as a team member and not authority giving commands. So those two combine very well together for any business or individual. You can read it with your wife, and those 2 books will change your relationship. It doesn't matter who you read it with or for yourself, it will change your life. The other one is Atomic Habits. We were talking about consistency and discipline. Atomic Habits lays it out for you easy. It's a deep read though. That's one that it's going to take you a while if you are breaking it down. So for me, when I read books, I got a notepad. I'm writing things down. I'll read like 2 pages and I'll sit there and write 4 pages or 2 more pages. I take that information and I interpret it in my words. And when I go back and I read those journals of my book interpretations, the power from that, because it's my words from that book. So I can cut down the time and that's fantastic. But those are the 3 books I recommend anybody to read.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's go. All right. I wrote these 3 down. I'm going to post it. All right, y'all. So Josh is giving y'all, Josh has a discount code too. No, I'm just playing. You should.
I should.
You say that you're giving them business.
Yeah.
But those 3 books I'm going to have to, you've been pushing me on this Extreme Ownership.
I have, man.
Like, so I gotta get in on that.
Yeah,
So
it's a good one.
I'm sure Joy's listening, so she's probably already ordered it on Amazon, by the way.
Yeah.
But no, man, this has been fantastic, dude. Like, oh my God, like so much gold, Josh.
Thanks. Well,
Man.
happy.
Listen, how can people find you, right? Like, give them like your social media handles. Like, how do they get in contact with JM Junk Removers?
JM Junk Movers, you can go to any platform, type in JM Junk Movers, we'll pop up on all the platforms. If you want to get in contact with me, LinkedIn is good, Facebook's good. I do a lot more on Facebook than LinkedIn. So if you want to like actually follow me, Facebook's probably a good option. If you ever have questions or anything, you can send an email to me, jchalice@jmjunkremovers.com. If you got questions or you want some clarification or anything like that, feel free to email me and I'll be happy to respond. But yeah, Facebook's my go-to if you want something personal. And that's on business and personal.
Perfect. And you service all over the Metroplex.
We do.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, don't y'all be taking all his time. All right, I got another project for him. Josh, real quick, who's like your favorite client?
You, man.
Let's go. Hey, I didn't make him say it, y'all.
We have great conversations. I'm cleaning up your garage and we're just
Come on.
chatting. Yeah, it's good.
if any of Josh's customers are listening, listen, it's okay to be a close second. All right. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. It's just what it is. Okay. I even have a custom hoodie with my name on it. Josh bought it. I'm kidding. He didn't.
Hand delivered too.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. All right, y'all. Listen, we are going to wrap. This has been great. Josh, I got notes already from people like with questions and comments. This is great.
Cool.
So thank y'all so much for listening. Another really, really good show. I appreciate it. We will pick up next week. Later.
Let's go.
We had fun, but it's time to go home. We say Dale.
24 Sports Talk.
Let's go.